Welcome, Divine Feminites. I'm Key. We're now in the Akashic Records library. We're going to see what it feels like and what does it mean to be and become an empress. So, I'm going to give everybody 10 minutes because I know um, I'm still learning how to do the premiere. So that's for one. So when I get the setup of knowing what time to have the reading, it will be scheduled and you'll know. I'm still learning technology, guys. Okay. So yeah, 10 minutes while we wait, get everything set up myself. That's why I'm giving everybody that's coming in the library 10 minutes. So yeah, I got my tea set up so I can feel cozy like you guys watching. Thank you, Feminists, Divine Feminists, for watching, viewing, subscribing, and liking the video for us to come together and have this, this sacred space, we should say. So, let's look at least what's going on before we get to the books. What's going on in the heart of the Divine Feminine as the Empress, and what could be going on with the Divine Masculine or our masculine counterpart of ourselves. Because remember, the Divine Masculine is mirroring exactly what we do as Divine Feminines. So, I'm going to do it that way. Should I do it this way? Yeah. So, when it comes to the feminine Empress, we know we are solid of where we're going. We know exactly what we want to do and how we want to do it, and how to express that as an Empress. When it comes to our gut instincts, we know that it is open. We're, rather than feel, because we could use our guts in many ways, but our guidance, remember, we all have two brains, our mind, our physical brain, and then our gut. When it comes to our gut instincts, our gut, when it comes to the divine part of who we are, is always connected to source. It's always connected to God, Gaia, Goddess, the God in you and outside of you. So feminine, the God, Goddess inside of you knows that where you want to go, you took in a lot of, first of all, you had to ground yourself and know that how you grow is enough for you to embark on this expedition in the first place. The masculine, wow, from us standing in our Empress status, is making a masculine become upside down. So his world is becoming upside down because of the experience that we're doing. So if you're wondering, even if you're not speaking to a divine masculine at this time, or you're not connected to the divine masculine, know that the things that you're doing is first for you. But we all know that we're social beings. We like to connect and have partnerships and relationships at one point in our lives. Before we get to the masculine, he wants us to know that when it comes to you, you change this world. You change the way he even perceives things now. Because in his heart, he's now being open. His heart at one point may have felt closed, but now his heart is becoming open. He's seeing that his heart is not just something physical. We all have a heart. But he's noticing now that based on the divine feminine's energy, that it's nothing wrong with the masculine opening up his heart. He's starting to see that now. And one aspect that he wants to show his heart is through his emotions. Again, it's still focusing on the East. So his emotions are becoming more heightened because of the things that we're doing. However, when we open our hearts to anything, it may be something that may not want to be said or spoken. Divine feminists, when it comes to how we feel about ourselves and how we open our hearts, we definitely want to speak on that, but our mind may feel a little conflicted about it. So let's see. Why does it feel conflicted? Well, we know before, as divine feminists, when we open our heart, a lot of times we have the exposure of having it broken and having to mend it or heal it a lot of the times on our own without a lot of people realizing that. And this time we feel that when we do see the divine masculine, that what we say, we do want it to match on how we feel and what we know we got to do. Even if that means, I know for me, talking to the masculine side of myself gives me the opportunity to exercise that. I don't know if lately divine feminists have, when it comes to what you speak into the world and what you want, our voice needs to be heard. And our minds are, if we had to go by energy, our minds have that masculine energy to make what we think actually work out for us. So once we realize that by the way we speak what we really want from our mind, then our eyes, our two eyes and our third eye, our pineal gland, will be open. Because it's showing that now. Before, we may have been hesitant on our intuition or what our pineal gland, our third eye, is saying or showing us. Because again, we have, like we heard, oh wow, ancestors, you really have to say that. You know how when they say we got eyes in the back of our head, like I could see things before you even show me, or you think I don't see it, but we see it. As feminists, we have that power where we can see things before it happens. And a lot of times we may have not suppressed it, but known in our subconscious mind that it does exist, that type of power. But a lot of times we may not have had the opportunity to notice when we use that power of intuition, when we use that foresight. Just like reading, you could see the intro and have a foreshadow of what it's going to be. When it comes to divine feminine, our what is our with every fiber of our being, every bone in our body lets us know is that we are grounded, in that whatever we are about to start and see through, speak of when it comes to our heart, know that we have the faith and the trust this time around. We've been energetically having more trust and faith in ourselves. And a lot of times it took our environment to test if we truly did have faith and trust in ourselves. So, what else is being shown here? Yeah, the divine masculine is mirroring exactly what we're doing. So, he may be experiencing, wanting to say something to the divine feminine, but not knowing if what he is going to say will resonate with us. So let's see what's going on. All right. So, all right, let's get this situated. All right. Okay, when it comes to, we're stepping in as the Empress, Divine Feminines. We're coming in as the Four of Fire. Still getting this. Let me get this connected a little bit better. Okay. We're coming in as the Four of Fire. So, lately we've been thinking about our foundations. We've been thinking about the four corners of our lives and seeing and trying to figure out and have been figuring out what does that mean to have a solid foundation. Wow, what's coming into my mind's eye, ancestors are coming down. Our ancestors right here. God, Gaia is right here with us. Our guardian angels is right here. They're showing me our home. Like, what is the one thing that every human being focus on that they want to see flourish is a home. Whether you're in an apartment, condominium, a house, a state, it still has four corners to them. So far, we've been definitely building up, not even building up, but seeing that the way we treat our home is the way we see ourselves as abundant. So if our home doesn't feel homey to us, it trickles down. I know for me personally, just experiencing this, but I'm gonna go into that later. But we're looking at our homes as our foundation, like how we want to be abundant. We're noticing how we treat our home will reflect on the kind of abundance that will come our way, that will be much favored to us. As the Queen of Water, we're definitely tenderhearted and patient on that process, because like any home, it's not like when we get our first home or our first apartment or living on our own, we know exactly how we're going to fill up that space. A lot of times we don't, or even if we do, we can have the list all day of what we want in a home. Yet when it comes to actually financing it or finding a good deal for it, that can become impatient. And now we're starting to see that when we tap into that impatientness of having our home feel like heaven to us, that every process is paradise. I mean, if we look at the first time you got your first key to your home, how did that make you feel? When even scouting for an apartment, how did it make us feel? When it came to knowing that we had the right finances to purchase any home of our choice based on a list that we got, because we had to either get a realtor or have someone of service in that field to work with us to know, like, based on our finances and amenities that we wanted and the location in which we wanted at and the type of safety that we can gain from this new home, it made us more excited to be patient with the process. So we're seeing that our home shows us how far we have come when it came to preparing. And we're becoming more empathetic to, again, having people in our world that may have experienced the same things we're experiencing or have just got out of. A lot of people are coming to the Divine Feminine because they're heartbroken. They're trying to figure out through us. It may be some friends, family, co-workers, people that are close to you, the Divine Feminine, that may have been communicating their anguish, what has made them aggravated in their lives. And you realize the things or the conversations that we've been having or have had when it comes to people are kind of like a reflection of what we're personally going through, or what kind of heaven or safe haven we want when it comes to our home or our relationships with others. It's like we're getting that confirmations that when people come and talk to us, they're giving us that clue like, okay, whatever we're physically doing on our own is actually able to be aided for somebody else. So say for instance someone comes to the Divine Feminine and they're talking about feeling tied up with their finances when it comes to their home, or feeling conflicted and confused about moving into an apartment, or anything that is tangible where they have to live, where it's their contentment, peace, and abundance, a happy home life. Whatever they speak of, we have not just the answers, but we have our own antidote to give to them as an anchor. Like rather than just tell them what to do, we're now showing them through examples of our own way of how what we have learned can actually help them in some way, shape, or fashion. Again, our ancestors is coming saying, just because you can tell somebody the answers doesn't mean that they will take it. But it's nice that it's out there in what? The air. Why? Because right now, the Divine Feminine has learned how to hold on to their money, how to not just hold on to their money, but when holding on to their money, when it's time to release it, that it becomes in a loving fashion. So going back to the beginning, if we were looking at our home as a project that we completed, how did we complete our home? What was the ways that we prepared that? First, to even make sure that we felt at home like an oasis. We may have to do spring cleaning. Wow, I was this wow, ancestors, you really have to go there. Okay, when speaking to someone, it is going into the example of doing spring cleaning. We all heard about spring cleaning. Spring cleaning is like clearing out all the old so that we can make room for the new. Do we need to have the season of spring to clean house? Do we need the season of spring to clear things that no longer serve us? So, say the conflict or the what we have been able to get out of was how to finance our home. We have a home, but how do we finance it where it can get the right furnishing, the right amenities that we're looking for, where we feel good when we step into our home and outside of our home, that it's like that boost of energy, that boost of fuel. Like every time you wake up and you look at your surroundings, you're like, this is why I do the things I do and love it. We may have to be tight with our money. So then we do want to spend, but we don't want to be reckless in how we spend, because we do want to have a nest egg for what they say, always save for a rainy day. And today is raining, so it's just so funny that ancestors just put that right in my head for us, that we do also want to save for a rainy day. So what do we do? I was stuck in this situation. I was kind of shocked that these cards came out. At first, what we did when we were in the reading a couple of days ago, maybe 3 or 4 days ago, I was showing you the apartment or the Akashic Records library, the area in which doing the channel where the readings are done. And it's in the living room for me, and my apartment is in the living room. So if you look at the beginning stages of the channel, you can see that I had TVs and other things here. And then a couple of days ago, I was showing you that I was clearing out some space. And I just had this energy, like, for some reason, it just came up, like, clean up, clean up. So I just clean up, everybody clean up. So I was doing that. And as I was clearing out things, I'm like, well, I'm cleaning up or clearing out things. I was giving some books and clothes to charity, to churches. Some I felt like it wouldn't be great for the churches, so some I put into the recycling area of my apartment for the sanitation worker to know exactly where to put that at. And next thing you know, all of a sudden my father calls me, besides the father upstairs, the biological father called me and said, well, I have a surprise for you. And mind you, I was wondering about it, just like you, Divine Feminist, on what to do. And then he came with a beautiful couch for me. That was one of the things I really did want as the Queen of Water, right? And from me cleaning up that area, I got exactly what I wanted without spending money. So, feminists, if we're coming across that again, where the more we clear out our apartments or the more we clear out things that don't serve us, how will it be refilled back? It's just by us taking that leap of faith and just clearing up, just because it's going to give us exactly the abundance that we need. So, let's see what's going on here. Oh, I got an extra one, so we're going to leave that to the top. Wow, that makes sense, because we experience, Divine Feminine, that when we feel like something's missing, like we can, yes, we have our apartment. We know that we have a place to stay, that we have food in the refrigerator, that we have the amenities that we need to feel comfortable, that is always that one more thing. And what is that one more thing? It could be out of the 5 things. What if we have our apartment, but we don't have the furnishing? So again, we don't have to do spring cleaning to clean, to get that surplus of abundance. So it's, again, we know that just like the 4th earth, we have the 4 pentacles here. So we know that we had to hold on to our finances, but we can't hold on to finances forever. So another way of looking at finances, that, for example, is the things that we had in our home. We once had to purchase those things to have it in our home. Those are the very things that we can give away that we don't need. And at first we may think like, what is this going to really do? But again, when we are clearing out things that we don't need, rather than just throw it in the trash, look at what we're throwing away by columns and say, okay, this is paper. These are clothes. These are toys. Or if you have children, and if you don't have children, these are clothes. These are books. Anything that is physical or tangible in your home that you can actually give to churches, charities, because it's someone out there that's thinking just like we have, where that person may not have what we're about to give away. Yeah, say for instance our clothes don't fit anymore, where we feel happy of our home, like we got the furnishing of our home, but maybe we want to get rid of some clothes. Oh, I don't fit them anymore, but what if somebody else can't fit them? Just in case, put whatever don't fit in the bag, because you can't wear them. We're just stacking space. It's like we don't have space because the clothes that we don't fit, we just kept them there in the drawers and the closets and everywhere else. Whereas we looked at the clothes that we don't fit anymore, those are clothes that we could give to charity, because there's somebody out there that can use your clothes for their life. That's another way of being charity. Again, from us giving away clothes, I kid you not, I would not be surprised that Goddess blesses us and the angels blesses us with opportunities where we can get clothes now because we have the room for it. Or when we are giving things away, what is the first things people say? Why are you giving away this? Why are you giving away that? And when you really tell the example of, oh, well, I'm giving away, for example, clothes because I don't wear them anymore, and I feel like somebody out there in the world can use them. And they think, well, why are you doing that? Because right now I'm looking to change my wardrobe. Again, we're about to be empresses. We are empresses, but we're now embodying that. And how do we embody that? Our clothes got to match how we envision that. So once we're explaining it like that, what happens? Then someone eavesdrops. Again, when we do things that look unusual, Again, giving things to charity is not something people do every day. Usually people have a reason for doing things, but a lot of times we just do it without realizing why we're doing it. I feel that's the the God in us, the goddess in us, where we're doing something, we're guided to do something, but we don't know why we're doing it until we finish it. Again, while we're making these, while we're clearing up the space of our environment, excuse me, someone is always eavesdropping to hear how can that help them. Again, the things that we're doing is not just helping the divine masculine, and it's not just helping us when we're doing it as divine feminine, as empresses. It's also helping people around us where, again, ancestors are saying, when you think you're not being watched, it's people that's watching our every move. And they see that whatever we're doing can also benefit them. So again, if someone out of nowhere just seeing you give clothes to charity, or they see you in a with a duffel bag full of clothes, and they wonder where you're going with it, when they eavesdrop to ask you some questions, and even though you're talking to someone one-on-one, it's always other people around you where they look like they're not watching or listening to you, Queen of Water, but they are. And from whatever explanation you give, I kid you not, is someone that's going to use that explanation to give them a template of how they can exude that empress inside of them. Wow, look at that. Ace of Fire. Again, somebody, when we're cleaning up house, is people around us that's watching us clean up house. So we're wondering, is what we're doing at this given time worth it? It truly is, because it's going to give us the opportunity, again, from us clearing out things that we don't need. Like physically, we outdated. It doesn't fit us. If it's furniture, it's not the style that our energy is speaking to at the moment. If it's the way that our amenities, the things that we physically have to make the nest egg, if it doesn't feel like a nest to us or home to us, we're giving those things away. So rather than just throw it in the garbage, some things you can throw in the garbage because, again, it's like putting in a pile. What can they have? What do we want to give away to charity? How does it look? Does it still look like it's in good condition, or it's in manageable condition? And if not, those are the things that we can literally throw away in the garbage, but putting it in the recycle bin, where you know how they have cardboard and clothing and boxes, like put it in those areas. It's still helping the environment, and we're doing something charitable at the same time. That's going to give us the opportunity to get exactly what we've been focusing on. Wow, I didn't think this was going to come out. We become the king of earth. Look at that. From our generosity, showing that we are responsible, meaning we could have just threw things that no longer serve us in our apartments or our place of residence in just the trash. But we didn't even do that. We were becoming more analytical. We were analyzing how can even what we throw away can benefit somebody else. That shows that we're responsible. Before, I used to throw things in the trash without even realizing it. Until one day when, before I even had my daughter, I lost this home. I got it back, but in the process of getting this apartment back, I had to live in a pregnancy shelter for people that are having babies and they just need a place to stay, a home, a for-fire situation to rest their head. And as I was doing that, I was again giving away clothes, because when pregnant you don't physically fit in clothes, so I had to give it away. And then as I was giving the clothes that I couldn't fit away, people were asking me, well, why, doing the eight of earth situation on me, like eavesdropping, like, well, what are you giving away? And I was telling them my clothes because I'm pregnant and I live in a shelter and I just need better clothes and have clothes for my child that's coming. So I want to be prepared for that. Do you know that someone eavesdropped and told me a beautiful place in Harlem, like not in Harlem, but in New York, where I can physically go to get not only baby clothes, but to get clothes for myself and furniture when I do get the apartment back. And guess where it was, ladies? It was actually literally 2 blocks away from the high school I used to go to. God is here everywhere. Our ancestors here everywhere. But it took me to have faith and know that whatever I put my energy to, that it's going to come back. Again, if money is energy, even the things I was giving away took money. So for the divine feminines, we're seeing that when we are clearing up things that don't serve us, it shows that we're not only using our divine feminine energy, but we're using our divine masculine energy by showing that we are professional in it, that we are practical. Look at that. We're at a successful time, confidently accepting opportunities you are offered. We have the Midas touch right now. Wow. So let's see where this Midas touch is going. Let's see. So if we had any fears surrounding by money, we just learned from the books that when we have fears surrounded by money, it makes sense because every human being, we all got to eat. We all got to rest our head. We all got to sleep somewhere. We don't want to be on the street. And say, again, I just gave you an example of my life. When you are down and out and we feel we have nowhere to go, it's always somewhere to go. It's by looking at every corner of the world, north, south, east, west, to see wherever we go, can we get that shelter? Can we get the amenities that we need? So, say for instance, divine feminine, you're looking not just at a home, but again, even how we dress, how we make money, how we keep up our appearance, our physical hygiene, all those things that are tangible, it's going to help somebody else out by us facing it first. We always, divine feminine, notice we always go through the hardships before we get to the easy stuff. So, wow. So when it comes to facing our concerns about our fears, things that we're afraid of, say for instance, not finances, whatever we're concerned about, yes, it's okay to have fears because that's what keep us as human beings or Homo sapiens. We also have the animalistic side of ourselves. That the things that we need, which is security, safety, feeling comfortable, taken care of, it's all right to have that. So as a page of air, we're seeing that rather than push away our fears, we're focusing on our fears to see how we can make that fear into a fearless situation. So whatever we feel that, example, we lack in, we're looking at it in a logical sense. Like, do we really lack in it? Like, oh, I may not have the furniture in my house, let's say that, but I have an apartment to rest my head. It's like looking at being optimistic and looking at things in a positive perspective. It's like whenever we get this negative energy, fear is usually that negative energy, and negative energy is something that we cannot live without, but we can also use it to navigate. So when we get that impulse to become passive or push the fear to the side, we're looking at what pulsates that fear and then propel it. It gives us this curiosity, like, okay, rather than push away that I have no furniture or push away what we fear, we're looking right at it, like right in the face. Wow, y'all really had to give me Forrest Gump right now. I forget what scene, but Captain I forgot his name. He was the sergeant for Forrest in the army, and then when they got out the army, the sergeant, he didn't have his legs, or his legs, he didn't have any legs, meaning he had the nubs, but the foot in which to walk on, he didn't have the foot anymore. So he could have complained, he could have been passive about it, but he was like, you know what? Forrest came up to him, he's like, I need your help to get some shrimps. And he's like, shrimps? Why do I need to help you with some shrimps? And he's like, well, I have nothing else to do. So rather than be passive, usually he could have been passive. He could have used his legs as a crutch to say why he couldn't do it, because of his fear of what if he did do it and failed. And any sergeant or anybody that is loyal to who they are, they don't want to fail. But this one was curious to him, like, what if I could do it? So he went up there, and at first Forrest and them didn't get any shrimp. Do you know this man challenged God? He's like, if you're God, or, you know, however he said it, it was like he was challenging nature, human nature. He was challenging Mother Nature. He was challenging Gaia. He was challenging God. Like, if you are who you say you are, then you should be able to move this water to get us to get some shrimp. Now, I don't think he knew that when he was being passive, he was actually praying. That was his way of praying without realizing it. So a lot of times when we're passive, we're not realizing that we're praying. All of a sudden, his prayers was answered. You see a dark cloud coming, storms was coming. I mean, it looked like it was going to be a tsunami. Like, I don't know if they was going to live up in there. It was to the point where when they came back from the storm, every boat was wrecked but Forrest and his friend. Well, his captain, but at that time, out of service, that's now his friend, his comrade. Just from that, it showed even him that the one that was passive, the one that was dismissive about even faith, that in that one swoop of a second, his faith was restored. That's what's going on with us, Divine Feminine. Our faith was being restored by the things that we once pushed away, that we're coming to the pulpit with, to face it, pray on it, and have whatever we pray guide us. So it's going to be synchronicities or things around you or another person that can help or be an aid to us. And again, I'll give an example that when I cleared out the apartment or cleared out the room, the living room, which is an apartment on its own, from clearing it out, I got replaced with a couch. And that was a blessing in disguise. Again, a prayer in disguise. That's what we're going through. So delays or changes to plans. See that? When we change the way we even become passive, and we see that time, rather than be passive to pray, or even when we're passive, we're not realizing that we're praying in a different air of ourselves, that the truth delivered without tact will happen for us. We know that we have 7 days out of the week to solve this. So again, from being very patient and being very practical, like our masculine side, when we show that we're patient and practical, when we have to figure these things out within the 7 days, that we'll get that solution. So a complex decision, the need to do research, stop procrastinating. Even when we procrastinate, that's another way of looking at how to use prayer. And when we procrastinate, I'm the queen of procrastinations. For all that know me, that's why keeping time is not good on my suit. What did I just say? I had to figure out how to do a premiere. So I did the first stage today, which is record, but I'm still researching on how to use the upload to have us as a premiere. I have 6 more days or 7 more days to figure this out. But God willing, and God is in us, that my will shall be done. Just like Divine Feminine, your will shall be done. Wow. Let's see what's up. 3. All right. Because we have the skills. We know, again, as others are eavesdropping to see our every move, we're still focused on what we got to do, what we want to do, what our will feels right to do in this. So as we're researching and figuring out a solution, the first solution that we're realizing is if we want, again, if we have to focus on the intro, which is having that contentment, peace of abundance in our home. What do we need to remove in our home to have things be replaced with good energy? Because that's going to give us, wow, the 10 of water. Wow, it's going to be our completion of what we really want. Like when we come into our home, it's like, this is what I want it to look like. This is what I want it to feel like. This is exactly, if we had to make heaven on earth, I mean, we already look at as human beings this being hell. So just like a day and night, how can we make our world, which is our home, be like heaven to us? That's exactly what we're going to get. It's no ifs, ands, buts about it. That's exactly it. When we want it, that's what we're going to get. When we want it, that's what will happen. Because our will is in it. Our willpower, our will. That fire. Fire is all Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Our actions, the way we love it, the way we go after it is exactly what's going to give us our contentment and rewarded family life. Your emotional and material needs are met. Trustworthy relationships. Wow. We're seeing that when we have that completion of home, our physical home, we become the star. Again, from everyone watching us, because even though we don't have time to look at who's watching us, they're watching us, whoever that is. And when we're not thinking, that's when when we feel good about our home, that's when people around us come like, oh my God, you look so successful, you look so happy, you look like sunshine. What you been doing? It's like this energy. You're gonna have the energy of the star. Happy times. You're gonna exude happy times. We're gonna be embodying as an empress happy times. We're making positive, optimistic. Look at that. Being optimistic, being positive. That we're on the right track when we do that. That's bringing us to our stardom. Wow. So let's see. How is that influencing us from our present? What presents are we going to get from our energy, from the angelic side of us? Wow. So the Greco-Roman. So Greco-Roman period was all about seeing how the masculine, men and women, when they come together, how did Greek and Rome become prosperous? Is by when both men and women were helping each other out. When we stopped being disconnected with that, that's when things fell apart. That's when Rome, Greek fell apart. So we're seeing how our home is like a resemblance of our masculine side. If we looked at our home, imagine how first we got our home, which is, for one, it took two sides of our energy. For one, we knew we wanted a home to rest our head. That's the feminine side of us. The masculine side of us is why we need a home. So we can rest our head, have food to eat, we have a place to go. And most importantly, when we have partnerships, company, we want to have a place that people can meet us at and feel what we feel when we're at home. So if we had to look at it, what is the Roman side of us? The Roman side of us is the masculine side. How do we handle working with what we got? And what we don't have, rather than feel worried about it, we feel we have that wonderful opportunity to revive it. So the Roman is releasing things that don't serve us anymore. So releasing things that's in our apartment, in our home, that don't serve us. If you have outdated clothes, rather than just fully throw it in the trash, put in the bag. These are things that when we put it in a physical bag, that shows that we're going to put it somewhere. We're going to go to a physical place to have it be used for someone else. What is the Greek inside of that? The Greekin is the feminine energy, which is all about, okay, what is in my home that I really don't need? And actually write them down or look around our home and see, well, what is the things that we really don't need anymore? That's outdated, outworn, or not even being used. The Roman side, which is the masculine side of us, is to put them in physical garbage bags or physical bags where we can take 4444. Yes, this is a connection. I think whoever's going to watch this besides myself can resonate with this. Put them in a bag, and before we put in the trash can, find places in our community, churches, places that are charity that we can drop off those things at. So it might not be church. It might be a school. It might be an organization that can use your clothes, that can use your toys, that can use amenities that you don't use. Have trust and faith that whatever is going to give us that food is because we're hungry for it. So again, say one of them was food. How are we going to get food this week? Looking in our refrigerator. Is there food in there that we don't need? We're throwing it away. Is it food that we have but we don't really cook? If it's still good, we could put them in boxes or in bags. Again, we could give those food away, especially if it's not expired yet. We just don't want to cook it. Again, we're clearing out even food pantries. Like, we all have food in our house that if it's in cans and saran bags, or how they contain it so it doesn't get contaminated. Food. If it's food that we're not using, it's still in the bag and it's not bad, we could put those in a bag and give it away to charity. We could give it to homeless people. We could give it to, again, churches. I was once homeless. Before I had gotten this apartment back, I was homeless before I got into a shelter. There's people that gave me food just because I was hungry. And they showed me like, oh, I see that even when I wasn't pregnant, when I lost my home before, and this is when I was 19. This is not the same place. I lost my home in another spot before I even got this spot. I didn't know what I was going to do. And my brothers and family came to me like, oh, you can take this house because you're of age and you can operate this home and just get rid of the other home. But I was heartbroken, but being optimistic like we had to, say, okay, I'll leave that to come here. That gave me the food and nourishment I needed. So if there's any food in your house that you don't need, put it in a bag and give it to someone that's in the street that need it. You never know. You may think, why would somebody want something that I already purchased? It's because you purchased it. If you purchased it, it must be good for somebody else to eat. You know how when you eat something, either a family member or a friend would say, oh, I like what you got. Can I have a sample of that? And you're like, well, I just bought it. It tastes better when you bought it. So again, just because you may not need the food doesn't mean somebody else doesn't. That's going to make us fruitful. Wow. That's going to bring us to our spouse. That's going to show us what is the making as an empress to be a spouse. Like, wouldn't you want this as a wifey, as a wife, as a divine feminine, as a empress? The things that we're setting in motion right now, if we had to see if our shadow side had to see this, isn't that the makings of what a spouse would be? Generous, professional, responsible, practical, like the king in us, yet tender-hearted, empathetic, patient, and loving, like the feminine aspect of us. Wow, that's deep. I didn't think about it like that. So, what does the sacred side want to say? The sacred side of the divine feminine, the sacred side of Divine Empress, the sacred side of Divine Empress. Okay. So, it's saying that, wow, this is a judgment call. This is something that we know consciously and subconsciously this is the right way to go. When it comes to having a happy home life, what does that physically look like? What does that visually look like? How does that is an extension of us on a physical way? It's like, you know how we all had heard the saying from our family. The moment we walk outside, we're representing the family. How is it that when we walk outside, our home is representing us? When we come in and when we leave. That's how we know the judgment call that we're doing is justified. Yeah, because as the Knight of Chalice, we know the connection to our home is complete. Before we even get that complete spouse or getting the complete divine masculine or the emperor, we know that being loyal to this for ourselves It's the most highest, it's the most powerful thing. Again, the masculine is mirroring us. So whatever we do, that's what the masculine does. So if we stick loyal to how we build our home and how we treat our home, will show any divine masculine when they connect to us, when they do come through, like we all, before we even known about the divine masculine, when we had boyfriends before or male figures before our divine masculine, when they came into our home, what was the first thing they did? They looked in the living room, they looked into however we allowed them to look into our home. To see, based on how we treat our home, it's kind of like the psyche or the persona of who we are without us even talking about it. And we're not confused about that anymore. Look at that. We have the passion. We have the Ace of Cups here, where it shows that we have self-love and how we cater to our home and to ourselves. And we know how we're going to communicate that when it comes to our emotions. We'll be clear and not conflicting anymore. Yeah, because this is something we truly want. And when we want something, we got to work at it. Whatever we want in life, Divine Feminine, you notice we had to work for that. And that is how we get the 10 of Wands. The 10 of Water, which we got earlier, that happy home, family life, it came with a lot of focus. It came with a lot of work. It's not like we just woke up and said, oh, I'm going to have a happy home life and it just happened. It's like, no, that was the first thing we had to do. But that was not the only thing. That was kind of like our propane, like our fuel to get us pumping to do it. But once we noticed that to physically put in the work, we had to physically do something. We had to get some garbage bags. We had to move some furniture. We had to clear out clothes and things that we didn't need. These took physical, hard labor. But it's worth it at the end because we do get what? A contentment, rewarded family life. Your emotional, material needs are met. Trustworthy relationships. Wow. Because of the work we put into our home, our physical home. When we do that, we're seeing that we're not, yes, we're the fool. It's like a release, having that new lease on life. We get to make a clean slate at any given time in our lives. And we see that every day is a day of Thanksgiving. It's always going to be the opportunity. If we don't start it today, we always have tomorrow. We have the next day. Again, we have what they say, 7 days. Oh my God. Okay, I gotta do the shout out. Oh my God. None. Oh my God. Am I tripping or not? She's a reader as well. She has readings when it says 7 days. When she goes 7 days, I don't want to bite off of her. I just respect that part. That's what they're putting in my head right now. That we have those 7 days, just like God. God made the planet in 7 days. That took work. If you look at the planet Gaia, planet Earth, Mother Earth, you know how much that took. Yes, had to think it, but something had to be physically done, and that's when we realize we're not foolish anymore. We know that we're not foolish in what we're thinking. We know the way we're moving fits for not only us, but it feels right to us, and we're connected to God and Gaia, to Source, to our ancestors, to all things that have breath, because they're there to watch us too. They cannot speak, but they're finding ways to speak through us, whether it be through water, how we even take our showers, being thankful, like, wow, I have a place where I could take a shower and take a bath. Or I got food in the refrigerator where I can rinse it off and eat. I have clean water. Some places don't have clean water where they can cook and stuff. I have clean water where I can do it. It's like now having faith and being grateful for it. Fortitude. Fortunate. Wow. Why y'all showing? Wow, ancestors. They giving me the song Maxwell. Fortunate to have you, girl. Want you to know I really adore you. Is that how it goes? Fortunate to have you, girl. Want you to know. Oh my God, I'm combining Prince song and Maxwell song. Fortunate. I know Maxwell's song is Fortunate. I think that's the title of it. Somebody let me know later. It's Fortune. I'm gonna put it in Kiki's Doorway music list playlist. And Prince. Uh, I really adore you. I gotta find what title is that. If y'all know, those are the two songs that they're giving me. That is definitely how the divine masculine, even though they can't see us, just like God, we can't see God, but we know it exists. It's just like divine masculine. We can't see him, but we know it exists, right? So those two songs are popping up. Maxwell, Adore You, and Prince. I think that's called Adore too, but I gotta find out. But yeah, those are the two songs that's showing us that our everything that has breath, every fiber in our being, every bone in our body is letting us know how we're going about this as the Empress right now, and building our home is actually the most divine way to do it. So what's the middle message? Because this one wanted to come out. Wow, being loyal to the call, being loyal to how we answer, being loyal to exactly what we want to take action in. When we're loyal to that, we're showing that we are intelligent, that we are looking at our ideals or our ideas as idealistic, and the decisions that we make are very decisive. It's very divine. And we're going to be tireless. We have that 7 days. If we got to add 3 more to make 10, so be it. Because we keep the tempo. Women, we keep the tempo. So, it says, events that occur with great speed. To carefully review your options, creative solutions. We already talked about some creative solutions. Y'all gave me the energy and the vision to even come up with some scenarios. So I can't wait to continue and just to show in some way, shape, or fashion. And I'm doing this with you guys. It's not like I'm reading and I'm not doing anything when I read these books with you. I actually gotta have some ownership or some initiative to do it. That's just in me, because I wouldn't want to say anything and not have something to back up. I think that's for any human being, honestly. So this is so far what I got, what I've been working with so far. See, like, I'm still moving. This is, is starting to get more organized, right? Now, the negative side could be, well, I didn't clear it up. I didn't clear this whole apartment, or I didn't clear this whole room. The positive part is saying, push that, bump that. Be happy that you actually doing something. Be happy that you actually doing something. So, again, I'm still working. Look, got the beautiful couch. Still working. Still gotta work. I still got more work to do. But again, I'm looking at all corners of a home. Like, each room, if you really think about it, is its own living quarters. So the living room is a room. Your bedroom is a room. Your kitchen is its own room. The bathroom is its own room. The hallway is its own room. These are ways where we can tackle one at a time rather than be overwhelmed. Because again, if we have 7 days, 7 to 10 days, right? Then this doing one room, one day. So today I'm going to finish up this room. And then I'm going to start in the bedroom. Yeah, because those are the most common places where I would normally go at the most. I mean, I am going to tackle the whole apartment. But again, going by what's going to push me to continue is going by the room that I feel good about. So I cannot wait to see you on the other side, to see how it's been working for you. We will see you on the other side, Divine Feminines.